Right, I just want to share something that I picked up in a book about instructional design a short while ago, called The 37 Principle. The book is by Victoria Halsey, called Brilliance by Design. And essentially what she says is summed up in a maxim. The maxim is that whoever, see if I can write this, whoever is doing the listening, it's not dong, it's doing the listening, is doing, what do you imagine goes at the end here? Whoever's doing the listening is doing the learning. So a book about instructional design, primarily written for face-to-face teaching contexts, but I think adaptable even to online as a maxim. Whoever, I'm a numbskull. Sorry. It's whoever is doing the talking. Whoever is doing the talking is doing the learning. So that's her maxim. Whoever is doing the talking is doing the learning, which probably means I'm the only person who learns from most of our devotions in the morning. She applies that with 3 corollaries though. She says that in a teaching space, students should do 30% listening and 70% talking. She says teachers should spend 30% of their time preparing content, what I'll cover, and 70% of their time preparing the design, how I'm going to communicate or present this. And students, again, students should spend 30% of their time learning a concept and 70% of their time practicing using that concept. Hence the 30-70 idea, these 3 30-70 recommendations. It's based on the idea that whoever's active in a learning space is doing the most effective learning. So 30%, students should spend 30% of their time listening, 70% talking. Teachers should spend 30% of their time preparing the content of their lessons and 70% on the design. And students should spend 30% of their time acquiring new skills and ideas and 70% of their time applying those. Interesting to reflect on whether this would be an idea that has biblical support, maybe not as directly as some other ideas, but there are a few verses that come to mind. For instance, Proverbs 18 verse 13 says, "To answer before listening is folly and shame." To answer before listening is folly and shame. And James 1 verse 19, a famous one, where James says everyone should be quick to listen and slow to speak. Perhaps not specifically in the context of teaching, but certainly the Bible has a considerable emphasis on the value of listening over speaking too much. And the question perhaps for us becomes how? How would we operationalize these ideas in our online teaching and learning world?